to, it depends on their condition. Some folks are released to an ambulance that is then bringing somebody. Not lights and sirens, these are not emergency
Right, I
situations,
think we
right?
need-
So
yeah.
they're just coming by ambulance. Those ambulance services typically are private ambulance services. We don't really have public ambulance services everywhere anymore. So those folks don't always, they haven't necessarily been there before, right? On top of the ambulance services, other individuals could be released to family or, you know, a healthcare worker, home healthcare aide, et cetera, who could be charged with bringing them there. Those folks also don't necessarily know where they're going. We did ask that question, and the answer that we got was they have a surprising number of overnight, it's not visitors.
Discharges.
Patient discharges, correct, as a result of that. And it's out of their control because it's hospitals,
Right.
you know, releasing them from wherever they're released.
Most people use their phones and addresses today, but I know some people don't, that would know the address right away. And the other thing is, in regard to the sign, we'd still want, as a community, for them to see the building and know where they're going, because we don't want them passing it and coming into our community.
Well, that's
to
the
turn
issue. It's the
around.
safety issue, is
Correct.
that's the
So we
issue.
don't want that traffic coming in and turning around, but then we also don't want the light pollution, and again, the aesthetics of, it's still a neighborhood as well as commercial.
Right, you don't want the lights shining through your window while you're trying to watch TV or have
Right.
dinner or whatever.
Right, so we appreciate that there's not a light facing Alicia Lane, that's great, but it's still, you know, the area.
And I think we can, if we go back to tab 5, if you would. I'm just gonna ask, I think it's a little easier to tell on the plan. I'm gonna ask Bobby to show you where on here that sign is located, because I think when you see where the sign is on the wall of the building, you realize how far it is from where you guys are.
Do we have the, which one was it, had all the call outs on it? Was it the,
Oh,
Yeah.
that may be the easier one, sorry, that was,
2 is
tab
here and then 3
6.
is,
yeah, the second sheet of tab 6, please. That's the easier one to see. There we go.
yep, so 2 illuminated signs, 1 here, and the second one is over here.
Is that second one, is that facing Mascaras, or is that facing?
Number 2 down here is facing Mascaro
Oh, that's
property.
facing- And the other one's
Correct.
facing Audubon Road?
And this is
Okay.
facing Audubon Road, yes.
And we're on the top,
And
We're
this
the
is,
top
yes.
of that plan. Yep.
okay.
I think your tab 7, that last page, the same one we looked at to see how it was recessed past the berm, shows perfectly how, you know, it's on the opposite side.
It's on the opposite
of the building.
corner. Yeah.
It's pretty much as far as it can be from the
Yeah.
building.
And then your parking lot lights, do they have the covers so they're not shining up? Are they covered, domed on top?
I believe they're required to be into the cellar, right?
Okay,
Yep.
I thought so, I just wanted to check. Okay,
Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Mr. Keating?
Just to add to that too, I mean, you have this neighborhood probably would not ever see this sign from a home. It's between the trees that you're building on the top of the hill and the direction it's facing. And frankly, the building's in the way of even seeing it, I would think. But there is a home sort of catty corner, a rancher on the corner would be more impacted by this direction, I think, right?
Right, and I think that's why, you know, when you heard Bobby speaking earlier, and to your point, that the building is sort of
It's
tucked
sunk,
down,
right,
set down
right.
already, but on top of that, as he walked through that kind of that landscaping plan, the berms and the landscape along along Audubon there.
Right.
That he was describing for you, and we can certainly pull that back up if it's helpful. but-
And so there'll be some trees along the Audubon Road at the top of the hill there,
Yep.
Correct.
sort of blocking that home from being able to see the sign as
Correct.
well, which shortens the distance for drivers coming from the west, as you were saying, to be able to see the sign in time.
Yeah, it's not as dense as coming from the east, but there will be some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody across the street. So we have to swear him in again, right?
Yep. Brian Keating, Eagleville.
He's still under oath, he's fine.
Maybe I could clarify something. I've installed a lot of these type of signs over 40 years as an industrial and commercial electrician for many commercial and industrial buildings. As part of the submission, in the original submission for this, there should have been a photometrics overlay plan provided for both the parking lot lighting as well as any signage. As part of your sign vendor, if they're proposing to change the sign in any way, shape, or form, they could have provided a luminescent overlay photometrics that if the photometrics itself.
You're speaking in code now. I don't know what
Okay.
the hell you're talking about.
Okay, you had mentioned luminescence, correct?
Well, lumens, I don't know what
Okay,
the proper
lumens are
term
the light
is.
level that a sign gives off, or a parking lot light. You can direct the light by putting guards in place on both parking lot lights, which the lady mentioned previously, or in signs. In signs, they build them into the sign itself so that the light goes against the back of the sign and reflects out. That can cut off the light if the sign is open in any way, shape, or form for line of sight at any point in time. But if you had a photometrics overlay, it should give you the lumen level out to how far and where it's going to go. If it's the same as the original proposed sign, then this wouldn't even be needed. It could have provided that to you, said it's going to be the same lighting level at all places in both the parking lot and across the property. So, I mean, maybe that
Well,
would help.
what the variance is for is the size
Size.
of the two signs and the fact that there's two signs, or I'm sorry, one sign's in the parking lot, not on the street. So it's
it-
really not the, it's
It
not
may,
the.
it may have helped in your decision, though, if the light is going to change. The light level affecting the property owners and affecting the street. And I do know that if it's going to be an LED sign, you can put controls in place. It doesn't even have to be built into the sign. It can be through building automation systems that will control the light level of the sign. There are variable products available to cut the lumen level in half if need be. So there's some options there on your sign, you know, your people providing your sign, just to give you a little
It's helpful.
information.
Yeah, it's helpful.
Yeah.
I'm looking, and you've sort of spurred me on here, but I'm looking at the ordinance itself, and it says illumination. And it says the following illumination type shall be permitted, subject to the regulations in 143-140.2. We'll look at that in a minute, but it says A, internal illumination.
Yeah.
This is internal, right?
Correct.
External illumination lit from above, we're not doing that. Halo, we're not doing that. Neon, we're not doing that. So 143-140.2 says, sorry to belabor this, everybody, but it could go nowhere, but who knows? Says illumination. And they would have to comply with this under the ordinance. And nobody's asking for any sort of variance from these standards, whatever they are, correct?
Correct. And I would also note, in addition to this, that as part of the land development application, there was a lighting plan that was prepared that shows that the lighting at this property will satisfy all of the required illumination levels at the property lines, right? So the SALDO has requirements in it that say you can only have lighting up to X level within X feet of the building, within X feet of the property line. That all was done as part of the land development. And we're not asking for any relief related to any of that. And so certainly if the signs went in and there was an issue and somebody said, wait a minute, we're standing at the property boundary and I have a light measure.
Yeah, can I get you to your, Amy, can I get your melodic voice in the microphone? Because this all does go on YouTube, so we can all listen to it later.
Because the melodic sound of my voice to put you all to bed tonight. Yeah, so if there was a test done, somebody had a measurement device at the property line that showed that whether it was the parking lot lighting or the sign or any other kind of lighting coming from the building that exceeded those ordinance limits, there's a process.
There's a
that goes with
problem,
that,
and there's
right?
a compliance
Right, and then
issue.
Yeah, and then they've got to go in and they've got to adjust those lights, and they would either add additional filming or adjust in all the various ways that he's just described.
So, Mr. Keating, it says here under B1, internal illumination, including neon lighting, must be static in intensity and color.
That means it's going to be the same light level.
Right, so it's not going to
Yeah,
fluctuate.
there's usually three kinds of lighting right now. They're used in commercial applications and industrial applications. And most of them are getting changed over to only LED now, which is strip lighting. And depending on how the sign is manufactured, it would determine the amount of LEDs required per square inch of the sign to reflect out on the photometrics overlay. The other two are getting phased out now. One's ballast controlled, which is real hard to control the light level.
Are you still doing this, or are you
I just
retired?
I just retired recently,
I
but
was going
do-
to say, you're still pretty up on this.
Oh, yeah, I do. I'm part of a couple organizations for electrical contractors and electricians, so. But yeah, light level is important. I mean, you may be increasing the size of the sign, not necessarily the light level or where it's going to reflect out into the neighborhood. So, I mean,
But-
that's a
but-
big issue.
Thank you. But we understand that you comply with all of the requirements of that section, except the two sections you're here for the variance. So thank you, Mr. Keating.
Yeah, so the issue is ultimately they have to comply with the ordinance as it exists, and they're not seeking any variance. But of course, all the homeowners, if this is approved, if it's shining in your face, you can go to Mr. Mrozinski over here with the beard, and he'll take good care of you.
Just one thing is just remember through the building automation system, there are setbacks in the whole building normally probably to go back outside of normal operating hours. Like they may dim down the lobby to half, there's ways to dim down the sign outside if needed. So keep that in mind, especially with LED, it's cheap. An LED sign's very easy to control.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Is there anyone else in the audience that has a question or a comment? Okay, great. So, anything else you'd like to tell the board?
I'd just like to move my exhibits into the record, and of course, happy to answer any other questions you may have, but I think you know where we are relative to what the request is.
Okay, thank you. Keith, you want to do your housekeeping?
All right, so you saw what we did before. I mean, you've been here before, so you know the drill. Certificate of posting, we'll mark that as B1. Any objection to that?
No objection.
Next one's B2, which is the letter that would have been sent to people within 500 feet. Any objection to that?
No objection.
Next is the mailing matrix of all the folks within 500 feet that this letter would have been sent to. Any objection to that being marked as B3?
No objection.
Next item is B4, certificate of notification, which is that the letter was sent to all those people on the mailing matrix. Any objection to that being B4?
No objection.
And B5 will be the proof of publication from the newspaper that we don't get until afterwards.
No objection.
And you're moving your exhibits? Any
Yes, please.
objections? No objections? Well, those are admitted. I don't know if anybody else has anything they want to say, and I'm sorry to usurp your role, but I thought that was important because you have some neighbors here and they've waited this long. Do all of you oppose this? Do you support it, or are you just concerned? You'll keep that in mind, Amy, when you talk to your client about the neighbors are concerned that this light is going to be glaring in their homes, and they don't want that. And I suspect all you folks are on Alicia Lane? So you're actually pretty well served in the sense that you're really the back of the building that's going to your side. So, anyway.
Okay. Anything else from the board? All right, we're going to adjourn, or not adjourn, we're going to pause and deliberate. Okay, we are back, and Mark has two motions to make.
Okay, the first one, the application of Encompass Health Pennsylvania Real Estate LLC docket Z-26-07 for a variance from section 143-141.3.E1 of the Lower Providence Township zoning ordinance to permit the installation of two internally illuminated wall signs, one on the entry facade facing the proposed parking lot rather than Alicia Lane street frontage, and the other facing Audubon Road where only one sign per tenant per street frontage is permitted in the L1 Limited Industrial District is granted, subject to compliance with all other applicable regulations. Construction, placement, and design shall be as per the application, testimony, plans, and exhibits introduced into evidence in this case.
Do I have a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Next motion.
Number two, application of Encompass Health Pennsylvania Real Estate LLC docket Z-26-07 for a variance from section 143-141.3.E.2 of the Lower Providence Township zoning ordinance to permit the installation of the two internally illuminated wall signs referenced in the foregoing motion that are approximately 69 square feet each, where a maximum of 32 square feet is permitted in the L1 Limited Industrial District is granted, subject to compliance with all other applicable regulations. Construction, placement, and design shall be as per the application. Testimony, plans, and exhibits introduced into evidence in this case. And number two, limited to this applicant.
Thank you. Do I have a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Congratulations. Good luck with the signage.
Thanks for enduring.
Okay, with that, we have 2 meetings in March for those of you who wish to attend. One on Monday, March 23rd, and the second on Thursday, March 26th, both starting at 7 o'clock. So with that, do I have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We'll see you in March. Thanks for everyone's participation tonight.